Hello and welcome to the very first e-bike universe video. In the following video you're going to see where my e-bike journey began, and it will very quickly bring us forward to today with my current bike, which is the one on the screen right now. So let's have a look and see where this all began. So before this one, I had this one. So this was my first e-bike. Glenn gave me this. I think he picked it up on eBay for a couple $100. It's a in its time it was an impressive bike. It's a specialised bike, apparently dual suspension, called a stump jumper. After looking at a number of different kits that were available, one of the main reasons for buying the Lunamate kit was that they had they came standard with a few bits and pieces, some standard tools that would help assist in getting the bike apart. And I'm here to tell you that taking the pedals off and taking the crank arms off and even getting the hub out can be a little bit hard. Look, if you're mechanically minded, it was fun. We eventually got it out. The motor slips in brilliantly, not a problem. It just slid in, bolted all up, and even the wiring was impressive. All of the wires are basically numbered or coloured. It's so easy to put together, it's not funny. The battery comes down through the arch here, but this arch, this triangle area here, was actually not big enough for the standard battery, and that created a problem. But Lunamate had a solution, and they have what they call the Mighty Brick. It's a smaller battery, but it's 52 volts rather than 48, and they supply a pouch that goes in there, and this just sits in there, and to be honest with you, it gives me the same sort of range I get out of the Max. So it works brilliantly. On that day we put this together. All went well. It was a great bike. But the lessons I learned made me realise that I think eventually I would have to buy a new bike, which is what I did. The reason for that, when you buy an old bike, you've got to consider things like the age of the frame and the components. And in my case, I had a number of failures. For starters, I had the derailleur smash up on me one day. I didn't hit anything hard, but it was obviously fragile and it just disintegrated. Have a look at the picture. So that created a problem in that Specialized no longer have derailleurs for this bike. So I had to hunt around, and eventually I found a Shimano unit that sort of fits and works. And then another day I was out riding and got a hell of a fright because the rear suspension completely collapsed on me. If you have a look at these pictures, you'll see just how it literally was obviously fatigue. The rear bracket had just broken away. So that created another problem. That basically meant that this bike was out of service because there were no spare parts. I approached this company and forget it. I mean, this bike is 15 years old. I eventually played around and I thought I'll turn it into a hardtail for the moment until I can come up with a solution for the rear suspension. And look, it looks ungainly, but it works and it's solid. But it was about that time that I made the decision that I think maybe I should get a new bike, and that's what I did when I bought the Max. If you had a more modern frame bike, I think it's a good, less expensive way of getting into e-bikes, and it's fun, especially if you're mechanically minded. The motor was a BBSD, I think, or SH 1000. It's 1000 kilowatts. I think that kit, if I remember correctly, cost me back then about $1,600. I think they've come down. I think you'll find they're around the $1,200 mark now. So you think about it, $1,200. So if you were to pick up a bike that was a few $100, more modern one, I would suggest, and put it on, you know, that's you could easily build an e-bike for a couple of $1,000s. So, oh, and the other thing, the monitor that comes with it is the Bafang monitor. It's a really high quality monitor and it works brilliantly. So, there you go. The moral of the story is that there's more than one way to get into e-bikes, and this is another way. So as you could see, I've been on quite a journey with my e-bikes, and it doesn't stop there. Future videos, especially the next lot of videos that are coming, are going to detail quite a large journey I took by travelling from here, from my home in Somerville on the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria, by e-bike and train across to Adelaide, where I explored Adelaide and beyond. So look forward to those.